This is the Mind of the Meanie. Here are your hosts, the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard.
Peace, world, and welcome everybody to the Mind of the Meanie, your weekly peek into the world, according to former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. We'll cover wrestling, music, movies, sports, and lots of useless knowledge, all contained in the Mind of the Meanie. I'm your tour guide, Adam Barnard, and he is the Blue Meanie. Meanie, what's on your mind?
Welcome back. I don't know the rest of the lyrics, but I'm singing one.
Place that you left the world.
There you go.
Should we sing it like Scott Stapp?
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Hello, my friend. We meet again.
Carl's going to be hyped that we're doing Creed songs right here at the beginning of the show. I know he's going to love it.
Is that sarcasm?
No. His girlfriend is a huge Creed fan, so we're always in our group chat. We're always sending stuff back around, and he's just like, "This is terrible."
Yeah, Creed's not bad. Like they kind of got the Nickelback treatment for a little bit, but I guess Scott Stapp was a bit of a dickhead. I guess because the whole band just went and got a new singer and changed their name to Alter Bridge. You know,
right? It just threw him out with the bathwater. Like, fuck you, dude.
Alter Bridge is amazing. You know.
Alter Bridge is great, yeah. Oh, speaking of Alter Bridge, dude, did we miss anything while we were gone?
Yeah, I don't know. We were gone, yeah.
Nothing crazy going on.
I want to stay.
I declare there all. I don't even know if that's part of the song, but I'm going to do it with the hands up and everything.
It is now. It is now.
And if you want to see me do the hands thing while I'm playing air guitar, you can go to patreon.com/mindofthemeanie. Sign up today. Tiers starting at just $10, Meanie.
You were doing there was a guitar player named Michelangelo who had a four-necked guitar that he would play on like both sides of the thing at the same time, and he would do the overhead. He's like a heavy metal guy.
I'll have to look him up. I would love to see it. But
yeah.
We got a lot to talk about, man. Lots to unpack and catch up on. We have the Pod Squad is here with us this week as well, which we love to have this live feed as well. And it's great, man. It's great to be back. It's great to see you. How have you been in the past 2 weeks? How was the 420 Expo? Tell me about what's been going on, man.
Fucking exhausting, man. This weekend, as we record at 10:39 on October 7th. It's October's fucking 7th already.
It's crazy, man. Absolutely crazy.
This drops on the 9th, but holy shit. This weekend is like the first weekend I've had where I have nothing to do besides this show. But like since StarCast, every weekend I've doing something, you know. Drove out for StarCast, drove home, drove 14 hours there, spent a couple days there, drove 14 hours back. Fucking went to the Eagles fucking Patriots game. And then the following I totally forget what I did. Last week I did the 420 Expo in Edison, New Jersey, which I'm surprised I even remember that. Holy shit.
Yeah.
That was fun.
Yeah.
I was neighbors with Bud Bundy and Rachel True for like 3 days.
That's awesome, man.
Everybody knows David Faustino, a.k.a. Bud Bundy. And Rachel True was from one of my favorite movies, the cult classic movie called The Craft.
Yes.
Another cult classic, Half Baked. She was Dave Chappelle's love interest in the movie. And, awesome. Well, shit. I say, I was neighbors with David Faustino, but in between me and David Faustino was the Sandman, which was fun. Shout out to my buddies at the 420 Expo. They're like, last year they wanted me on last year, but I was booked. And they asked me for like 420 friendly wrestlers, so I suggested, Godfather and RVD, who were booked this year. So I was like, Sandman. So I was like, "Hey man, you want to do the 420 Expo?" He went, "Fuck yes."
I can hear him saying it in my head. Yeah. Fuck yeah.
Yo, fuck yes. And
Love that guy.
It was great. You know,
he's hilarious.
Yeah, just it was cool. We went up there, stayed up there for a couple days, and what did we do? Met a lot of. Here's the thing. I do conventions all the time, but mainly they're pro wrestling conventions, and like people come up, they know who you are, they know what you've done. By that 420, goddamn,
that's okay.
At 420 Expo, you kind of get the people who aren't wrestling fans that come over to your table. It takes you a little moment to realize these aren't. Not everybody here is a wrestling fan,
right?
So I have to go back to the old school mentality of selling myself again to the people who don't know who I am. Yeah. Wrestling conventions, people know who you are. You don't have to sell yourself. You just have to talk about, the cool things you've been able to do. Now, 420 Expo, I was like, oh, well, I'm a former WWE, and I got my whole spiel. I'm former WWE superstar and ECW original, the Blue Meanie. I love when people point to the photos of me and go, who's that? And you're like, it's me. And they point to like the most recent photo of me, which I'm like, all right. I'm the asshole here with blue hair and a blue beard, and you're asking who the guy in the photo with the blue hair and blue beard is.
It's me.
That's, yeah. That's the 420 talking. Nah, seriously, it was cool, though.
Yeah.
Meeting new people. And explaining wrestling to new people and selling myself to new people and all that stuff. But, day one was cool. Went to the my Crossway neighbor was Wilfred.
Oh yeah, from the FX show, right?
Jason Gann. I want to say his name is Jason Gann. Played Wilfred, Australian fella, very nice. But we had a very nice, very lovely conversation. Talking a little inside baseball about our characters, and like he wasn't a wrestling fan, so but like I talked to him about wrestling, explained him, like I said, sell myself to Wilfred, to Jason Gann, and say, hey, this is what I did, this is what my character, blah blah blah. And as somebody who played a character on TV, he got it, and we were chilling for like 3 days, which is kind of cool. And he told me about an experience he had with Hulk Hogan. I guess Hogan was somewhere, and he showed up. He was in his Wilford outfit, and he went over to Hulk Hogan, and Hulk Hogan didn't know. Hogan was like, what the fuck is this guy dressed like a fucking dog? So everybody's like, oh, that's Wilford, that's Wilford. And then once he saw people's reactions to, him as Wilford, he was like, oh, okay, this isn't a rib. This isn't like a Howard Stern prank.
Yeah. This
isn't like a Baba Booey moment. And he was like, oh yeah, this guy's this is my dog here, So, but like, we talked about his show. We talked about, wrestling, and it was very cool, man. It's very cool. Just I hadn't done a convention like that in a while. I've done like chiller theater and Monster Mania, where you get the non-wrestling fans walking around going, oh, what's that?
Right.
And which is fine, which is cool, because to me it's a new challenge.
Yeah.
I knew old challenge because I've done it before, but I haven't had to do it in a while. So you're reworking a memory muscle that you haven't had to do in a little bit.
Yeah.
Because I'll meet somebody and they find out what I do, and they'll they feel guilty for going, oh, well, I'm not a wrestling fan. I go, that's fine.
Right.
And I like to, ease people and say, ease their minds and say, you don't have to like wrestling for us to have a conversation and enjoy this beer, or whatever.
Well, right. But, it's like when I tell people about that I do the show, they're like, oh, yeah, I do, Blue Meanie from ECW and WWE. Like, a lot of people in Philly still remember ECW, but they're like, oh, they may not know wrestling, but they know WWE. And it's like, oh, yeah, that's cool.
Yeah.
That's great. Like, I'll check it out, So.
Yeah.
No big deal.
It's a good conversation piece, you know. And as long as you talk to people in a respectful manner about it, don't get, oh, how do you not know me? And how do you not know wrestling? Do you know who I am? I hate that shit.
Oh my God, dude. I'm sure between the two of us, we know enough people that are like that. And like, I would never big dog anybody like that.
Yeah. And, there's stories, but not worth.
Not worth it. Yeah.
Not worth reliving.
No, God, Jesus. Seeing it in real time, I think, is worse than like hearing about it. Like, yeah. But I know that you ran into a friend of mine at the 420 Expo. Nikki Doe was over there. She said she met you, and I've known Nikki for probably 15, 20 years now. We knew each other in high school, and I saw her tweets. I saw she was there, and I was like, oh yeah, my buddy Blue Meanie is there. And she was like, oh, I just ran into him. I was just talking. I was like, oh, that's amazing. So she's freaking great, man. I love Nikki so much.
Yeah, dude, that whole 420 staff. They also do the Exotica Expo. My buddy Dan, who does it, I've known him forever. He used to be in the music world, managing bands and stuff like that. So he knows how to put on an event. And the 420 Expo was an amazing event. The staff, from top to bottom, was awesome. Go to 420expo.com and, look into when the next one will be, because I hope to be on the next one as well. Mm-hmm. I'll say my fucking Saturday. Friday was like you show up Saturday. Hey, it's get settled.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you. Get to know you kind of phase where you're getting familiar with the people in your area. And you go to the hotel and they have the hotel after party. Yeah. And you're at the bar and you're having a couple cocktails. I had my calls were held. And Friday, like that's when the free samples came out, and I was like, all right. All I know is I took a fucking hit from one pen, somebody's pen, whose shall who shall go on?
Who shall remain nameless? Yeah.
Yes, that's the phrase. So this person's a civilian. I don't want to put him out there. Took a hit of that pen, and then I had some of my own supply. Sandman had some stuff. He was fucking hitting, like. It's like 90%, and then somebody gave me a cookie, and then that was it. I was like, all right,
I'm set for the day.
Yeah. My posture was sit here and pretend I'm looking at my phone.
Yep,
and I'm looking at my phone. And I fucking see the circuit board, and it's like Jesus Christ.
Well, I was gonna tell you I had a similar experience after our recording 2 weeks ago. And,
oh yeah?
Oh my God, dude. So like someone who will remain nameless came up and, I guess we were talking about, edibles and things like that. And I was like, oh, I'm trying it. Like I'm getting into it, seeing how it works. And, trying the CBD stuff. Cause, friends of the show and sponsors, Green Roads, they sent us some product, which is fantastic, by the way.
Yes.
And you'll hear that ad at some point in the show here as well. But,
yes.
Great stuff. And I was like, well, I still want to try to try to figure out like what works best for me and this, that, and the other. So he comes up and he's like, oh, I got this stuff. We could try it. I'm like, oh, cool. And I guess he didn't tell me how much was in, like he didn't share and I didn't read it. And I was like, oh, well, it's, it's like, oh, this isn't going to be bad. Right. Like, and I'm like, I only want to do like 5 milligrams at the most. Cause I don't fly often. Right. Like I don't do that. I don't partake it and I'm building back up. So we had these like, I don't know, they were these giant gummies, and he was like, just cut a hunk off of it. It's only like, it's not that much. It'll be fine. I was like, okay, cool.
Famous last words.
Right. So I cut a hunk off. And so I had to go get a lens because I was going to Vegas the following week. So I had to talk to one of my photography buddies. I was like, hey, can I borrow one of your lenses for the weekend? And so everything's good. I'm driving, you know, Courtney's driving. We're heading over to go pick this up. And then all of a sudden it was like, I forgot where I was. And I would talk and then I wouldn't remember what I said. And then the photographer would talk and I couldn't remember what he said. And then it felt like everything in the world was just spinning circularly. Like it was like my equilibrium was so fucked up. My mouth was so dry. And then I started hallucinating, like legit, like I was hallucinating. And, I think, you know, I don't have a ton of memory about like what happened through the day, but, the next thing I know, Mrs. Goober's reading the label and she's like, oh no, these weren't 15 milligrams. These were 175 milligrams. And I think you took 55 milligrams. And so I was just in outer fucking space. And like, I ended up
calling aliens.
Oh, dude, legit. I was the aliens that we talk about all the time. I was pretty sure I was talking to them. And yeah. I got in the shower because I was texting my buddy who's a stoner. And I was like, what do I do? Like, how do I come off of this? And he was like, he's like, try this. He's like, get in the shower, turn the cold water on, and let it just see if it'll snap you out of it. I just saw colors and neon lights when the water hit me. Like I was fucking, I've never tripped before. I've never done anything like that. And I was just fucking chirping balls. And, I was hallucinating for the better part of 24 hours. And it was the most unpleasant experience of my life. Like no, it wasn't like scary tripping, you know, like how people get like real weird when, you know, and violent and shit. Like I didn't have any of those thoughts or anything. It was just like,
yeah, it wasn't like bath salts or anything.
Right. It was just like, oh my God, like, you know, everything I would do, like if my hand was in my face, it was like, you know, kind of like this weird, like warping shit. And it was just, so I finally like laid down about 7:30. I went to sleep. I slept for like 13 hours. I woke up again and then I was like fine for like the first hour. And then I started tripping again. And I was like, what the fuck? Make it stop. I don't want to do this anymore. So it was a fucking brutal weekend, but, yeah, never doing that again. That's never going to be in my repertoire again.
Yeah. I kind of felt like I felt like whatever I did Saturday kind of hung out through Sunday. I was like, holy shit.
Jesus.
Not as bad, but I was like, man, did I just end that sentence with the? And then there was one point Saturday where, you know, everybody's there is fucking gimmicked up, right?
Right.
On the good stuff, not the bad stuff.
Right.
To me, the 420 is the good stuff. And there was one moment where me and somebody just looked at each other, and it was almost like we talked to each other telepathically. It was just like, we looked at each other and like everything was understood.
Yeah.
We're just like, you know, this is for the Patreon exclusive. We looked at each other like this. And then we both went like this. Uh-huh. And then he walked away and I walked away. It was like, man.
It was not pleasant, man.
Look, I like the cannabis because everything fucking hurts.
Yeah.
All the time. It's my knees, my shoulders, my legs, just like ache. You know, it's years of doing the moonsault and hitting the mat. I wish there was a way to fucking measure the fucking impact of like every one of those fucking moonsaults I ever did. Like the impact that it would take on my body. Like
I can't even imagine
the pressure of the pounding of the mat. But I'm feeling it in the front of my legs, my knees, and all that stuff. But that stuff helps. Like especially, you know, shout out Green Road CBD. They gave me, you know, those daily doses are fucking nice.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, man.
Are they 25 milligrams or 50 milligrams?
I think the daily doses are 50. I think the gummies are 15 or 20. I'm not sure. I have to take a look at the bag.
That daily dose. You take the daily dose, you open it, you just drop it under your tongue. Mm-hmm. And I save it for before bed.
Yeah.
Because it's the best sleep in the world. You know, you wake up and you're just like, man, you felt like you slept.
Yeah.
You know, and you wake up and you're like, have some coffee and then you're good.
Yeah.
I'm grateful that, you know, I know we got the ad coming up, but it's like I'm grateful that they joined because I legit use Green Roads.
Yeah,
all the time. I've been using it since 2016. So
it's nice, man. Like I said, it's the CBD. I feel like is what I'm looking for without the actual high. You know what I mean? Like it helps. I have a lower back injury from I don't know, almost 20 years ago, and my ankles are constantly in pain. Just from I guess the way my body is built, and the CBD takes it all away, and it also quells that anxiety too. That internal shit that's always in my head. It levels me out, but don't ever bring that shit here again, Matt. But you jerk. So no, it was like I said, it was unpleasant, but I think in different circumstances, had I not had as high of a dose, I think it probably would have been enjoyable. But because I went full steam ahead and was an idiot and didn't check, no, we're not. We're staying far away from that one, brother. But speaking of things that are happening since we've been gone, I know we spoke about Jade Cargill signing to WWE before we went on our break. Yeah. Adam Copeland, former wrestler formerly known as Edge, friend of the show, signed with AEW. And I wanted to pick your brain about that and see what your thoughts were and how you felt when you heard the news.
Dude, very few things shock me anymore. And like it was just a couple of weeks ago, there's that speculation that he was going. But then he did a video on his porch saying there's no issue between him and WWE. Okay.
Yeah.
And I took, I took it for what it was. But then, I was watching was it Wrestle Dream?
Wrestle Dream.
I was watching some of that. And, once they say, Christian was the main event, I was like, okay. All right. There's something happening here.
Yeah.
And then, once they had that screwy finish, I was like, well, there's no way they're going off the air with the heel up.
Right. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Yeah.
Something's got to happen. And it kind of went on. And then, dude, it was pretty cool. Instead of, the familiar, instead of hearing, you think you know me, you hear, you think you know him.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, oh. All right, that's cool. And then they hit the altar bridge. On this day, and he comes out. And, there's a little video montage too that they did, which I would have held off doing, just because it's like that Jeff Hardy thing again. Like you hit the music, you run out, and his brother getting beat down.
Yeah, doing the dance coming down. You're like, your brother's getting his ass kicked. Hurry the fuck up. Yeah.
Your brother's getting the ass kicked, and you're having a dance party in the aisle. So meanwhile, there's this, beat down going on in the ring, and I would come out and help, but I have this video package that I paid a lot of money to procure, and so I kind of would have done without the video montage because it kind of killed the fucking momentum of the pop.
Yeah.
Actually, I think the video happened before. Well, I'm sorry, the video happened before the music, right? But
I also think that it said like rated R or something in the sign, and I was like, you just blew the bank here. Like, why wouldn't you just let it build without any like being so on the nose?
The lights should have went out, and you should have heard right off the bat, you think you know him,
right?
And then do the entrance. The video kind of just. It didn't totally spoil or kill it because the reaction was still amazing.
Sure.
There's pacing to it, The lights go out. You think you know him. Owner's Day.
Yeah.
Just fucking. But dude, it was awesome. You didn't know which way he was going to go. Of course, he's the baby face.
Right.
So him and Christian are going to have a little bit of a storyline here, which is awesome. Having Edge come in is totally a plus because from the aspect of one of your big, stars, CM Punk, is no longer there. I think, look, AEW is amazing. all the workers there are amazing. But CM Punk was bringing in the casual viewers who normally, I watch wrestling here and there. I'll tune in here and there. Oh, CM Punk's there? Oh, okay, I'll watch this more often. Kind of thing,
Right, yeah. It's a name.
CM Punk's gone. Yeah. You can't cater to the hardcores because the hardcores will always be there. You got to get the casual viewer, right? So, Edge brings back those people they might have lost through CM Punk. I'll tune in every now and then and see what's going on. If not, then I'll go, knit a sweater or something. Just whatever people do when they're not watching wrestling.
Yeah.
So, Edge is back, so it's okay. I'm a big Edge fan, and he'll bring over his millions of viewers. And, I know I don't shit on ratings, but like,
the key demo.
Yeah, all that. Dude, as a performer, all I care about is asses and seats. I don't care about the bosses can worry about the key demos. As a wrestler, I want as many eyes on the product because that's more eyes on me as a performer. We drew less fans watch us, but we want the more people in the key demo watched us. Well, that's great.
Yeah.
But I would rather have the larger number overall so those people can potentially buy my T-shirts or, whatever. My Blue Meanie underoos or whatever. I don't know. But Edge brings that to AEW. He brings the casual viewer, the people who might not have otherwise watched AEW. And I think it's good for wrestling. It's good for AEW, but it's good for wrestling because now we get to see some fresh matchups.
Yeah.
And Edge talked about that in his post press conference where like, hey, I've never had a match with this guy, that guy, this guy, that guy. Now he gets to have those matches, and wrestling will be better for it.
Meanie.
Yes, sir.
Football season is back, and do you know what that means?
Tell me.
Touchdown dances, Sunday tailgates, and epic fantasy showdowns. But fellas, let's not forget the real MVP of the season. Introducing the all-new Beard Hedger Pro Kit by our friends at Manscaped, your ultimate luxury beard grooming experience. This kit is your secret weapon for staying sharp on and off the field, Meanie. Don't fumble this opportunity. Head to manscaped.com and elevate your grooming game with the Beard Hedger Pro Kit. Join the 9 million men worldwide who trust Manscaped. You heard that right, Meanie. 9 million men, or 109 Lincoln Financial Fields. So go to, right? That's crazy. Go to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping by using the promo code MIND. Meanie and Meanie, I got a question for you. What's one of the worst memories that you have when trying to shave your face?
Brother, I tell you, I am known for my beard, and there's nothing worse than when you trim one side and it's not even with the other side. But with this beard hedger, you can set it to the exact setting you want, so both sides come out nice, even, and smooth.
And it's amazing, Meanie. The Beard Hedger Pro Kit is a grooming powerhouse built for precision and style, just like your favorite quarterback, Jalen Hurts. #GoBirds. This kit tackles beard touch-ups effortlessly, ensuring that you're always prepped for the next play. Plus, it has a compact design for easy portability. The cordless trimmer has a rotary wheel that gives you 20 hair-cutting lengths, all with one guard, so no more messy drawers of extra add-ons, Meanie. That's right, face grooming doesn't need to be hard. Get 20 different beard lengths in just one guard. Plus, dude, it's waterproof, so you can shave in the shower to avoid all that hair in the sink, because Lord knows Mrs. Goober and Mrs. Meanie are not going to be happy if they find all that crap in the sink. This titanium-coated T-blade is tough on hair, but smooth on your face, leading to single-stroke efficiency that brings satisfaction one stroke at a time. Remember, the Beard Hedger Pro Kit is your go-to teammate for maintaining a sharp and polished beard, whether you're on the field, in the office, or anywhere in between. Grab yours today and experience the game-changing difference. And also, Meanie, I'll have you know, after you groom your facial turf, show it some love with Manscaped's liquid formulations. The beard shampoo, the beard conditioner, beard oil, and beard balm are the key to feeling victorious and taking your beard game to the next level this year. So go right now After you listen to this ad, go right to manscaped.com and get 20% off plus free shipping with the promo code MINDMeanie. That's 20% off with free shipping at manscaped.com by using promo code MINDMeanie. Your grass is not artificial. Keep it shaved with Manscaped, and we thank them for sponsoring the program. Yeah, I agree. I know there's been a lot of discourse about people not being super happy with him jumping, and like, I don't know. I find that stuff kind of weird, you know, because it's like at the end of the day, like, it's his life, it's his business, it's the way he wants to end his career. It doesn't affect any of us as individuals. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, okay, like, it's okay. He's moving to another company. Okay, great. Like, let him enjoy it. Like, if that's what he wants to do, and that's where he's going to be happy. And I think, honestly, the way I see it, the biggest factor in that entire thing, I think, had to do with the fact that Christian was in AEW, locked into a long-term contract, and he wanted to finish his career with Christian. He wanted to do something more with him. So I think that, from what I understand and what he said in interviews, like, that was the biggest motivating factor. The promo or the conversation that they had in the ring the other day, I guess was that Dynamite that they were in the ring, or was that Collision? Christian, he came in, he was talking to them, and he's like, you know, like, you were going to beat up Sting and you were going to give him the concerto, and, you know, and then he tells him, he's like, go fuck yourself, right? Like, Christian says, go fuck yourself. And I was like, man, this is good shit. Like, I'm actually enjoying this. Like, I'm invested in this story. So I'm excited to see where they go with that and to see what happens. But, no, I mean, like I said, you know, people, I think, put too much stock into, you know, those kinds of conversations, I guess. You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, oh my God, it's a betrayal, and it's this, and no, it's going to help the key demo. It's just like, guys, just fucking enjoy the product. Like, just enjoy it. Like, just, this is what it is. It's wrestling. It's not that deep.
Fan. Please, just be a fan.
Yeah, just, it's not that deep. Just, like, enjoy the ride. You are currently getting to see two people in the ring that we didn't think were ever going to wrestle again. One because of concussions and one because of a neck injury. And now you're seeing them again on your television in 2023 after they started in the late 90s, and you're getting the opportunity to enjoy this again, you know, going forward. Just enjoy the ride. I don't know. I don't see it. But I guess, Pete, there's been a lot of conversation about Cousin Phil, our friend of the show, Mr. Punk, if you will.
Yes.
I feel like we talk about him a lot here on the show, but I guess just from a business perspective, you know, you're the guy in the industry. Do you think that now that Adam Copeland jumped to AEW, do you think that gives Hunter and WWE more of an incentive to sign CM Punk as like a, you know, one-upsmanship? What do you think?
Like I said, Survivor Series is in Chicago. And that's all you need to know is, you know, let him heal up, let him get, you know, do whatever he needs to do.
Yep.
And then Survivor Series. And then you give those fans in Chicago what they wanted to see at, you know, was it All Out or All In?
All In, I think, that was the one in London.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All Out in Chicago.
Yeah, All Out in Chicago. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. So, dude, I was in the hotel lobby, and, you know, there's people showing up for the event, travel from out of town, get into the hotel, and word started breaking that, you know, CM Punk wasn't going to be there. So many people were disappointed that, you know, they weren't going to get the chance to see CM Punk in Chicago. People spent a lot of money to go to that event.
Yep.
To see she sells by the seashores. To see CM Punk in Chicago. You know, this is what you get to do. You know, you know, and, you know, the precedent has been set. The precedent was set like way back in the 80s.
Yeah.
You know, Hulk Hogan, big star in the AWA. They kept teasing giving him the AWA world title, right? So right. Vince takes over the world, and the first thing he does is bring in Hulk Hogan as world champion, which was something that Vern Gagne dropped the ball on. Yeah. You know, WWE's not about, you know, not above giving the fans the things that they feel like they were robbed on. You know what I'm saying? And business is business. Dude, if they brought back the Ultimate Warrior,
yeah,
they could bring back CM Punk.
That's what I was just gonna say. If Warrior came back multiple times, right? Like,
yeah,
Jeff Jarrett's in the Hall of Fame for Christ's sake. You know what I mean? Like that's like if anything,
Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels, hugging in the center of the ring.
And it's amazing. Like I feel like I noticed something last night that perked my ears up, and I know a lot of people were talking about it on Twitter this morning. Was Corey Graves said during the Seth Rollins, like they were spinning into the fast lane stuff and they're going over everything, and he said the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing you he didn't exist or something along those lines, right? And I went, this is for the Patreon exclusive folks, by the way, patreon.com/meanie. I went, I've heard that recently, and I remember that from somewhere else. And it's from CM Punk's like super classic promo in Ring of Honor, and they just did a whole program about that with MJF and AEW. And I'm going, now they're just fucking with us. Like now it's just like it's the same thing when they were doing that with Cody before he came back in 2022. It's like, Seth Rollins is what did they say? Seth Rollins' WrestleMania dreams are dashed now, and it's turned into a nightmare. It's like, we know what the fuck you're doing here, Corey Graves. Yeah, sir, Mr. Pittsburgh, friend of the show. We know what you're doing here. Don't play with our emotions like this, pal. But
so that's something to keep an eye out for, like them dropping Easter eggs.
Yeah.
Along the way on the build up to Survivor Series.
And I think it's fascinating that a lot of that stuff is coming back out now, like especially like the comments that Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins have made about Punk and what Punk has said about them publicly. Like, I just think it's interesting that there's like this mechanism that's starting where it's like those things are starting to come back to the forefront now. And you know what I mean? It's just like this weird like dynamic of things that are happening. I don't know. I would say for me, business is business. If I was looking at it from that perspective, one of my biggest...
And that's something to build on.
What's that?
That's something to build on.
One of my biggest legacy stars just went to the other company. How can I one up them? We pulled one of their big new stars, their rising stars. We pulled them away from them. Now they took one of our legacy guys to come over. What are we going to do now? There's only one other big thing to do besides pulling MJF, which I still think is going to happen next year. Pull their biggest guy. Here you go. Not only we're going to make you champion, we're going to give you the main event at WrestleMania, the one you've never had. Right? How about we'll sign off on the dotted line, and we're going to build that program to WrestleMania. So, no, it's exciting, man. It's exciting to see what's coming. Really, genuinely.
Yeah, same. It's good. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan. I've said that. I've been saying that for a while now. It's a good time. Excuse me. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan, and just enjoy it. Don't fucking overthink it. Because at one point there could be wrestling comes in cycles. Good wrestling comes in cycles. So does bad wrestling come in cycles. There's going to be a moment where there might be a lull period in the wrestling business, and you're like, man, remember that back in the day? You'll be reminiscing about when you had it really good, and you really didn't get to enjoy it because you're too busy trying to look smarter in front of your other friends who are. See, I knew that before you did. Mm-hmm. I was right about this. How about just be like, oh man, that guy was an asshole to my favorite wrestler. I want to see him get his ass beat.
Yeah.
What about that? What happened to those days of just want to see your favorite win and you see the asshole get his ass beat?
And I think that like for me, like having my kids enjoy the show now, like being so older, the older three being into wrestling so much now, it's like it kind of like levels me out sometimes. Cause like you can get caught up in that shit sometimes. You're like, oh, this is all business shit and whatever. And they're just like, oh my God, Dad, what happens if CM Punk comes back? And like, I think he's going to wrestle Seth Rollins. No, I want to see him wrestle, and it's just like the way that they look at it. It's like, oh, this is exactly the way that I should be looking at it. Like, you're here having fun. You're being entertained. Like, it's an enjoyable process. Everybody just breathe. And nothing in your life is going to be affected that much, but to go on Twitter and fucking go ham. And it doesn't have to be this deep, but it really is. It's a good time to be a wrestling fan again, and it's a lot of fun. What else has been fun though? Before we get into my favorite section of the show, sir.
Yes,
is the Philadelphia fucking Phillies, man.
Oh,
how many games away are we? 11, right?
11. As of this recording.
Yeah.
As of October 7th at 11:13 a.m. We're hopefully, potentially 11 wins away.
Yeah.
From the world and winning a World Series, hopefully.
When's the next? Yeah, I was going to say, when's the next game?
Next game's tonight.
Oh, wow.
So I will be at McCusker's tonight. Game 1 of the NLCS, the National League Championship Series, will be tonight at 6 o'clock.
Mm-hmm.
So, which I guess is an Atlanta thing because, the Braves are, Captain TBS team, 605.
Yeah.
Even though the game, I don't even know what channel the game is. I don't know what channel the game is on. I'll figure it out.
I'm going to look it up right now while you're talking. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, a little back history. The Phillies got in on the number 1 wild card seed. Their first opponents were the Miami Marlins, who are a pesky team. I'll give them that. They great pitching staff. They're going to be a team for the future. The Miami Marlins. They're going to be a tough team in the future. They're just a young team, first time into the playoffs. So, but the Phillies, beat them in 2 games. Every first round game was a 2-game sweep because it's best of 3 series. Now we're going to a best of 5 with the Braves. And this Braves series could easily be, I'm sorry, I fucked up. Tonight is the NLDS.
Oh, right.
National League.
The division series, yeah.
And the reason why I said championship series, it's National League Division Series.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why I said National League Championship Series is because this game easily could be for the National League Championship.
Right.
For
sure.
I wish Major League Baseball would do the reseeding thing. Because right now, I think the Braves would face the Diamondbacks instead.
Yeah.
I forget who the Phillies would, I forget who else. A lot of teams, the only 2 teams from the National League to make the playoffs, from last year was the Phillies and the Braves. I think the Padres are out. The Dodgers are in. My bad. So I think the Phillies would have faced the Dodgers if they went by records,
right?
Instead of the original bracket. So, and by time I feel bad. By the time this drops Monday, we'll be 1 game in because the second game's Monday night.
Mm-hmm.
But this easily could be. This game should be for the division.
Yeah,
for the National League Championship. I'm sorry. Yes, but the Braves team is a good team. But here's, I think I said this in the green room before we started, or with our pod squad, which you can go to meaniesaults.com go to patreon.com/meaniesaults. I think I'm still in the 420 from last week. Fuck, man.
My brain, if it makes you feel better, my brain's not fully functional after the tripping incident. So I'm with you, brother. I'm with you.
What you get, we were talking about this with the pod squad, patreon.com/meaniesaults. And that I think the playoff system's kind of broken.
Yeah.
Because, the Braves won the division. But, the Phillies played the wild card round and won. Meanwhile, the Braves are just sitting around. And while the Phillies are still playing, and this goes for the other teams as well, whoever plays in that wild card round is still playing meaningful baseball, meaning they're still sharp.
Yeah. They're
still active. They're still fucking seeing live rounds. And the teams waiting for those wild card teams are just sitting around, going, okay, who are we going to face? And they're not playing meaningful baseball while those teams have been off for like a week.
Yeah.
Which is longer than like an all-star break. You see teams come back from the all-star break and they're kind of shaking off that all-star break rust.
Yeah.
So to speak. And that's kind of what happened last year. The Braves were the best team in baseball. Phillies snuck in on the last spot, and then they, beat the Cardinals. And then they went into that Brave series, and they were still firing on all cylinders while the Braves were just like trying to get off that rust.
Mm-hmm.
The Phillies took the first game, Braves took the second, and once it came back to Philly, it was curtains.
Yeah.
So I'm confident in I'm a diehard Phillies fan, and I might sound like a homer, but I'm confident in this team. They got experience from last year of what's like to not only get into the playoffs but go deep into the playoffs. They went to the World Series.
Yeah.
This Braves team, best team in baseball, but they had to wait a week last week to face the Phillies. The Phillies came in hot. In this same situation, they won over. The Braves won over 100 games. That's cool, but you're sitting around for a week, and now the Phillies are coming in hot.
Yeah, with
a lot of momentum. So and the Braves starting pitcher was it Strider? Is his name is?
I think
they were doing an interview with him, and he's like, "What's your sports hot take?" Did you find it?
I'm looking it up right now. I'm trying to get it to. I think it's Strider, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, Strider, the guy with the mustache.
It's Spencer Strider. Yep, that's
Spencer Strider. He doesn't deserve to wear 99. That's for like cooler people.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying I don't know Spencer Strider, but just looking at him, I'm like, nah, you're not a 99 kind of guy. Jerome Brown, 99. Mitch Williams, 99.
Yeah.
Spencer Strider, 99.
It's me, Spencer Strider. No.
So his hot sports take was he wants to do away with fans at baseball games, which blew my fucking mind because that's what drives this baseball. That's where you're getting your money.
Yeah.
Tickets hit.
Yeah.
I come from the business of wrestling where it's about, an ass however wide your ass is, every couple inches. I'm a 2-seater, pal.
Yeah.
I got a wide stance. Just to say you would do away with fans at the ballpark.
So stupid.
So it's a shame he's not playing Game 3 instead of Game 1 because I would love to see what the Philly crowd does to him. But
they're gonna just
it's going to be a good series. You can't discount the Braves, but going by history, and how this new playoff schedule is.
Mm-hmm.
I think the teams who play the wild card round actually have the benefit of playing meaningful baseball while these other teams are sitting there waiting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So that's what's on my mind with baseball.
I was just thinking about we were talking in the green room, and we were talking about the Bryson Stott's grand slam.
Oh my God!
With that loud fucking pop, man. And I reached out to Matt from Dover because I knew he would know this answer, and I'm glad he got it to me before the end of the show. Because I asked him, because I went to a Phillies game, I can't remember how long ago it was, and it was Jeff Juden hit a grand slam off Hideo Nomo, and also pitched a complete game that same game.
Jesus.
And we were there at the stadium. We stayed for the end. Because normally, like, my dad was the kind of guy who'd be like, oh, we're going to leave by, like, the 6th inning and, blah, blah, blah. But because it was so crazy, that game, it was like, no, we're going to stay. And Jeff Juden pitched the entire game and fucking hit a grand slam off a Nomo pitch. Right, actually, the grand came, like, right into our section, too, in the vet.
That's amazing.
And, yeah, dude, it was fucking crazy, man. The place was electric. That's the only thing I can really think about as far as comparison to noise from listening to that Stott video. If you haven't seen it, go out of your way to take a look at it. It is definitely loud. And
somebody realized that, like, there's different channels on the stereo mix.
Yeah.
So they chose the channel where the announcers weren't, where there was no announcers. And they played that Bryson. Here's the situation. The bases get low. Bryson Stott comes up, swings at the first pitch, and hits a grand slam.
Crazy.
Which is the second grand slam in Philadelphia's postseason history. The first one was Shane Victorino against the Milwaukee Brewers in 2008, which I'm still trying to find that fucking game.
Yeah. I remember watching it. I just can't I haven't been able to find that clip.
I have most of those postseason games. That's the one game I can't fucking find. So if anybody finds it, let me know. That Shane Victorino grand slam against the Milwaukee Brewers. So Bryson Stott did that. And take the announcers out and just the crowd noise. The only thing I could equate, if you take two hair dryers and put them up to each ear, and it's just like, oh my God. So, I forget what, I wish I could credit the announcer. The one announcer said there's home field advantage and then there's Philadelphia.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
It's true. There's nothing like there is no place in the world like the city when it comes to baseball or sports in general, man. Not a single fucking place.
And there's talks amongst, Philly sports fans and, who's louder, Eagles or Phillies. And I think the Phillies get the little bit of edge because in baseball, there's singular moments.
Yeah.
In football, there's a bunch of stuff happening at the same time.
Yeah.
Between the quarterback doing this, wide receivers trying to get open. And in baseball, it's just a pitcher and a batter.
Yeah.
And then, what happens after that, So that grand slam, man, those fans were insane. And the cool thing is about living in South Philly, I can hear those stadiums from my house.
Well, I was just going to ask you, were you home when that one happened, the grand slam? Could you hear it?
I wasn't. Mrs. Meanie was. But I've heard stuff. Like when the Eagles score a touchdown.
Yeah.
It's like kind of like a spoiler because I hear the fireworks before I see it on TV. Like I'm about maybe a mile from the stadium, roughly. And you hear boom, 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 boom. You're like, oh, here comes the touchdown.
Well, fuck, I know now.
Yeah.
So, that's funny, man.
But I'll be at McCusker's tonight for the I've been doing Eagles games at the 2300 Arena.
Yep.
Eagles home games. But I got to do Phillies baseball at McCusker's because you can watch any sport at McCusker's, but it's really a Phillies bar,
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it looks like tonight they're in Atlanta, 6:07 p.m. on TBS. So if you're watching, it's going to be the same time on Monday. So if you're listening to this, as you listen to this Monday, game 2 will be the same time, 6:07 p.m. Eastern Standard on TBS. So take a look at that and make sure you watch. But the other thing I want to ask you real fast, Meanie, is a question.
Yeah, of course.
If I may. Are you ready to ask Meanie?
I would love to.
It's time to ask Meanie anything.
Ask me something!
I can't remember what regular air smells like.
Don't forget, tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you may hear them asked on the show. Meanie, what kind of seltzer do you have today for these questions, sir?
I'm glad I remembered this week. I know I've been a bit of a fucking failure.
Oh, no.
We are a seltzer show. And but this week I have again Polar Black Cherry. Oh, black cherry. No, black cherry. So Polar's been pretty good.
Yeah.
It's been a repeat offender in my house. I go to Wawa and they get the fucking big bottles. They're like 2 for $3.50. I get the black cherry and the lemon lime.
Nice. It's good stuff, man.
Excellent.
I unfortunately, because I was so parched, ran through my lemonade, so I'm waiting for Mrs. Goober to pull one up here for me, so I'll have to do it in the middle of mine. But at least I can gimmick it for the program. So go ahead and we'll do that. We're in 3, 2, 1. There we go. Nice and crispy. And hopefully I get some more go-go juice here while we're doing the questions. Got a lot of
up.
Pinky up, sir. Pinky's up. Attaboy.
Everybody should enjoy their drink with a
Lots of questions this week. We're just going to run through this. Melissa Raccoon's #1 fan says, yes, just what I waited for. Hashtag Ask Meanie. Thank you. We love that. We love that. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Do you remember you and Stevie doing a mock Hogan versus Warrior match in 1996 at some indie show when the promoter no-showed?
That was in Woodbridge, Virginia. And the promoter showed up, but the promoter showed up with no money.
No.
And he tried to do that fucking thing where, let me pay you in starter checks. Like, all right.
Paid you in starter checks?
Dude, I have this show somewhere on VHS. I need to digitize it. Dude, it was Woodbridge, Virginia. The promoter's name was Sidney. I can't think of his last name. And he was a regular at ECW shows. He would come to every ECW arena show, every ECW show.
Wow.
Until this happened. But he had Sabu. Did he have Sabu? Either way, he had the Gangsters. He had me, Stevie, Axel Rotten, Iron Mike Sharp. He had a bunch of fucking big names on there. And we're sitting there. And Iron Mike Sharp. Yeah, if you've seen Iron Mike Sharp in the ring, you know what he sounds like because he's just loud and boisterous. Like, we're all getting fucked. The promoter has no money. And we're like, what? So, we get up and he's like, yeah, it's, the promoter who everybody was working for just because we knew him from arena. So, he's got to be a good dude, right? No. So, I forget. Me and Stevie were slated to work the Gangsters. And we just, this is such a shit thing to say. It's just like, we're just like, you know what? We got fucked on our payday. This whole thing's a fucking sham. We just did a quick job to the Gangsters.
Yeah.
And, but then like, me and Stevie were just start fucking around and we start working each other for the fuck of it. and we started doing Hogan Warrior from Toronto, WrestleMania 6. And we just did all the spots minus the gorilla press, and that was it. But the whole show was, I need to get that show on VHS because there's a moment where the Headbangers are on that show too.
Oh, no shit.
So Axel Rotten and the Headbangers decided to do karaoke of Adam Sandler's song at a medium pace. I just go on YouTube, Adam Sandler's at a medium pace, and that's the song they sang.
That's hilarious.
The highlight for me for that show, Joel Gertner was there. He gets on the mic and he does a public service announcement. Well, the owner of a car with a license plate, and he rattles off all these letters and numbers, and that's preposterously long for a license plate. He goes, "Will you please move your car? Your license plate is blocking the entrance of the building."
I love it, dude.
It's a fucking amazing. Woodbridge, Virginia. Joey Matthews and Christian York were on that show too.
Wow.
Because I told Joey Matthews I have it. He goes, "You're a liar." I was like, "I have it. I swear." I just need to fucking figure out how to digitize it. But
yeah,
holy shit, that just brought back memories. So I appreciate that question. Who asked that question?
So it is Melissa Raccoon's #1 fan is the account on Twitter. So,
thank you. That's why I love this segment.
Yeah.
It brings back fucking memories of shit I forgot I did or I was a part of.
Now, question for you too, I guess, as a follow-up. What did the Gangsters say about that whole deal? Like, what was New Jack's response?
New Jack made sure he got something.
If you can see my face right now, I can't even imagine. Oh my God!
He knew where Sydney lived, and it might not have been physical, but he got his money's worth from Sydney's. I think he took his computer. I think he went into his house, and just took the cash equivalent of what he was owed for that show.
Man,
which is not uncommon.
Yeah.
When I first started wrestling in the Michigan, when I started training with Al, there was this super show in Michigan, and the promoter's name was Joe Lake. I want to say. And his show was even bigger. He had Sabu versus Al Snow. He had Tommy Dreamer, Taz, Virgil, Greg Valentine, Medusa. Like Medusa got on the mic and started cutting a promo about how the boys were getting screwed. Jim the Anvil, Neidhart. He had all these people on the show. So like Jim the Anvil, Neidhart, and a bunch of the boys took the hotel van over to where they found out where Joe Lake lives, went to his house, and
wow,
got what the cash equivalent of what they thought they were owed.
Wow. Holy shit, man.
Yeah. I mean, don't throw an event if you can't pay the fucking boys. Well, have that. Here's the thing. If you're going to throw an event, just know before you sell one ticket, you're at least going to be 10 grand in the hole.
Right.
So if you're going to have an event, make sure you have at least 10 to 15 grand just as a cushion. Because you're not going to make it all. There's a good chance you're not going to make it off the door.
I just don't understand. I don't understand why someone would do. Like, I can't wrap my mind around the fact that someone would book an entire fucking show and then stiff the people working. Like, it doesn't make any sense to me. Or pay in. Like, that doesn't. That is. It's outrageous to me. I can't imagine doing that type of way.
People think they think it's Field of Dreams. Book it and they will come.
It's ridiculous.
There's so much work that goes into booking.
Yeah.
And you got to pound the pavement. You can't rely on just internet, and you got to go out and do flyering. You got to buy ads. Like when I was running 3PW, I learned that, radio ads were super cheap on the overnights.
Yeah.
So I would just buy a bunch of ads on the overnights. And people were like, oh, I heard about your radio ad on WYSP, and this, and it helped, I would go through, this is back in the AOL days, I would go through I would keyword search WWE, WCW, and whoever's profile came up, I made an email list, and I would send out an email list. Yeah. Hey, 3BW, this, that, and the other thing. Even if they didn't live in Philly, just
why not?
I was trying to sell home videos too, so
yeah. Why not?
But people think they could just run a show, and they think fans will just come because they watch TV. And, oh, look at all those fans there. No, there's a lot of money spent to get those people to come to those shows and making them aware that the show was happening.
Yeah.
Meanie? What's that, Adam?
We hear this a lot. Every CBD company tells you that their product is the best. With quality control measures like lab testing and QR codes now becoming the standard, it can start to seem like all CBD brands are the same, but I'm here to tell you something, Meanie. They are not. Knowing what makes certain brands better will help you spend your money more wisely and have more confidence as you incorporate CBD oils, topicals, capsules, or gummies into your own wellness routine. And that's why we're proud to partner with Green Road CBD as an official sponsor of Mind the Meanie. And Meanie, I know you're a longtime user of Green Road CBD. How has Green Road CBD helped you in your life?
Let me tell you, Green Road CBD is a product I've been using for years. And when we started Mind the Meanie, I always was like, let's get Green Roads as a sponsor, because I use them almost daily. Whether it's the gummies, to take care of the aches and pains of 30 years of wrestling, the topical solutions that help my knees, help my back, help my elbows, help my shoulders. Green Road CBD has done everything to help me maintain a pain-free existence from all the years of wear and tear as a professional wrestler.
And to me, Meanie, that sounds like the Green Road's difference. And it comes down to a really few important points. They're just part of the reason that they've won industry awards year after year, earned thousands of 5-star reviews, and have heard countless stories from customers just like you about the impact that those products have had on your life. So Green Roads is led by a compounding pharmacist with 25 years of experience helping her community getting healthy. For her and the entire company, it's more than just a job, it's a mission. And not all hemp sourcing is equal, Meanie. I'm not sure if you're aware of that. But they select their hemp from high-quality American farms, and also not all lab testing is equal, which is why they use an accredited independent lab to conduct full panel tests on every single batch. And that's why Green Roads is an original manufacturer, not just a quote-unquote white label brand. So right now, you can go to greenroads.com, Meanie, and save 25% off of your entire purchase. Wow, 25% off of everything, Meanie. That's huge. And all you have to do is go to their website right now, greenroads.com, and use promo code Meanie at checkout. That's 25% off your entire purchase by using promo code Meanie at greenroads.com. Own the day with Green Road CBD, and we thank them for sponsoring the program. Mark in Dryden wants to know, do either of you watch NXT? And if so, who from the people that you've seen do you think is the most main roster ready?
I wish I was watching it more. I'm hearing great things about NXT. Mm-hmm. It's just like I was one of those black and gold loyal brand loyal people.
Yeah,
I loved that era, and me with my fan hat on, went, you know what, I'm just gonna. It wasn't a conscious decision, like where I went, oh, I'm just going to stop watching. I just kind of I was like, I'm not feeling this color scheme. I'm not feeling the brightness.
Yeah.
I'm like, I kind of just faded away from it. But now, like everything, like I feel like I'm missing out on something right now because I've been hearing a lot of great things. So I feel bad that I can't answer your question because I haven't really been watching NXT, which it's a shame because I wasn't a day one because they were only on TV in certain areas. Like you could watch them on Hulu, and I didn't have Hulu at the time, and they had TV in Canada back in the day. But then when the network came about and it was on the network, I was watching it all the time on the network, you know. But yeah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I wish I could answer your question. But maybe Adam can answer. I don't know.
I've been watching a little bit of it recently. I guess my answer would be Carmelo Hayes. I feel like he's ready for ready to be a primetime player at this point. I think that's where they're going to be going with him relatively soon. I think Roxanne Perez, I think, is the other one. If I'm saying, I think that's her gimmick name.
Yeah.
She's great. I mean, there's a handful of folks I think that are ready. I think it's just a matter of them, especially with a lot of the stuff they're doing right now. Like Cena's going to be there, and Heyman is coming, and apparently the Undertaker's going to be showing up at some point next week. I think they're trying to build this brand as part 3 of the show. You know what I mean? Like of the main roster in a lot of ways.
To me, it's always been that, but
yeah, I mean, it's kind of always been there. Gigi Dolan's another one I really enjoy. I think what they're trying to do is they're just trying to get eyeballs on the program and the product, and saying, hey, we have a lot of really great talent down here, and having names like Cena and Heyman and the Undertaker and Becky Lynch and Asuka show up down there. I mean, that can only help them, So I think, like I said, I would say out of everybody, the 3 names I just mentioned, I would say they're probably primed pretty soon, ready for the main roster. But Baron Corbin's doing amazing stuff down there as well. Like his whole new gimmick, like that's fucking great. Awesome guy. So yeah, I would say, out of the people that haven't been on the main roster yet, those 3 would be the names I would give you.
Nice.
RJ Krasinski. What's up, RJ? What's going on, man?
What up, RJ?
What it is, man? Thanks for the question, brother.
Check out his podcast, Reffing It Up.
Yeah, dude. Great show.
Brian Hebner.
Great show. Go out of your way to check it out. It's in the anywhere you listen to your favorite podcast. RJ wants to know, how would both of you book Damian Priest's cash in with his Money in the Bank briefcase?
Man.
It's a great question.
It is. And, which belt?
Yeah.
There's Roman's the main guy, and Seth is doing a good job with the new belt. So I would think, if you want to raise the elevation of that belt, I would think I would have him cash it in against Seth.
Mm-hmm.
You could go against Roman, but that belt's already kind of established.
Yeah.
Through Roman. If you want to elevate the level of that belt, the WWE World Belt that Seth currently holds, I would have him cash in on Seth. Now the when and the wheres, I don't know. Because there's always that thing of, do you do it the night of?
Right.
There's two formulas. People have tried to cash in the night of, they win it, or towards the very end where it's like the next Money in the Bank.
Yeah.
But there's always the Rumble, maybe. I don't know how many times there's been, there's been a cash-in attempt at the Rumble. But I don't know how or the when or the why, but definitely against Seth's belt, because I would try to elevate Seth's belt.
Yeah.
Because people are still kind of poo-pooing it a little bit. I don't like the design.
It's the big gold. It's the big gold belt for new generation. Like, come on, how can you not like this belt?
Yeah, everybody hated the Universal belt when they booed the Universal belt and now look where the Universal belt is now. So.
Yeah, I mean it's all relative, man. It's all relative.
It's goofy.
It's goofy bullshit, man. I agree with you. I think that if they're going to do a cash-in, it's got to be against Seth, because I feel like at this point, with the way that the story arcs are going and everything is aligned, I don't think that a cash-in against Roman is going to do anything. You're pretty much guaranteed right away, at least right now, you're like, he's not going to win, right? They're not going to end this historic run. And it's not a knock against Damian Priest. I just think that they have a way different trajectory and story in mind for the end of Roman's reign than a cash in it with Money in the Bank. So I think Seth is going to be the only choice. I don't want to see him cash in against Gunther or Rey Mysterio for one of the secondary titles. I think based upon the product I've been watching recently, I think there's a great story to be told if Damian does beat Seth for the belt. Or if Nakamura wins tonight, tonight is Fastlane. So it's very possible.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very possible that either Seth retains or Nakamura wins. And I think the way that they've been building up the Nakamura character recently, I think there's a great story to be told between him and Damian Priest if they're fighting over that big gold belt. So I think for me, that's where the story is. But then you also have the variable. It's like, well, if CM Punk does come back, do they want to put him with Seth Rollins for the big gold belt? You know what I mean? Like there's all different types of things that could happen. So I wouldn't be surprised to see that title change hands a couple of times before we get to the Rumble, if that's the way they're going to go with it. But I think for me, my money, based upon everything that's happening right now, my money would be on a Nakamura Priest showdown for that title. Even if, because again, remember that the match tonight's a last man standing, right? So they're going to beat the bloody hell out of each other. I could absolutely see Nakamura winning the belt and then Damian Priest cashing in at that point and then becoming the new, world heavyweight champion. So, anything's possible, but, no, I think that's where it's going. And again, the Judgment Day, like, fucking phenomenal. They don't miss with that group right now. Like, they're doing an incredible job, with that story, carrying it while the bloodlines start to kind of like fade to the background a little bit. Everything they've been doing with integrating Jey Uso and Cody Rhodes and, LA Knight, Johnson, like it's incredible. So, I hope the best for Damian Priest at this point. Last question for you here. Amir in Cali wants to know, any remorse for those bathrooms that you wrecked?
Oh man. No. No, the only bathroom I have remorse for is my own.
Yep.
Because it's my house. The other places are public restrooms, so for public consumption. So there.
Yep.
Oh my God! It's just nothing worse than the worst feeling in the world is when you're flushing, that water starts rising, and you're just like, oh.
I will do anything to make this stop right now. Please don't let that shit fall over the top. Please.
Yeah. There should be like a cement trap door that goes over the top of the seat that force feeds the water back down into the whole fucking thing. It's like, God damn.
Dude, we went, when I was in the airport, me and my buddy Greg, we were flying out to see Brad in Vegas. And we were like, well, let's not get anything too greasy to eat before we go. Cause like, I don't want to be fucking like sick. I'm not sick. Like, I don't ever puke on the plane, but like, I don't want to be farting up a storm on the plane. And so there was nothing really that was like open except for like restaurants that have like $55 a plate, which I'm not fucking going to do that. Right.
No.
Not in the airport. And, Smash Burger. So I was like, well, fuck, I'll just get a burger. Like, usually pretty easy, like standard fare, nothing crazy. I had the worst fucking gas in the plane, dude. And it got to the point where it was like, I'm just going to let them rip and see what happens here. And it was quiet. It was like that rumble, which is masked by like the rumbling of the plane, you know?
Yeah.
But man, they were not pleasant. They were coming out Technicolor. It was like, it's like, whoa, you know, I'm wearing a mask on the plane because I just got over COVID recently. I'm like, I'm not going to get sick again on this airplane. I could smell it through the mask. I was like, oh, these poor people behind me and next to me, they're just like, just basking in the ambience right now. And it's not pleasant.
Yeah. Yeah. It's amazing.
It was great stuff, man. It was unpleasant. But what is pleasant, sir, Mr. Blue, if I will, is doing this show with you and asking you these questions every week. Thank you for answering these from our listeners and our fans. Don't forget, again, tweet us your questions using the hashtag AskMeanie, and you could hear them on our show each and every week. So, Meanie, I want to thank you. And I also want to thank the Pod Squad for joining us today. And
thank you, folks.
I want to just know, Meanie, where can people keep up with you, sir? As in the real world, when they're not listening to the show, where can they find you?
If you would like to follow the Blue Meanie on all forms of social media, that's at Blue Meanie, BWO, on Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, Threads. We'll see. At Blue Meanie, BWO. If you would like to support the Blue Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Blue Meanie. If you would like to support Mind of the Meanie, go to prowrestlingtees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Collar and Elbow, the wrestling brand, go to collarandelbowbrand.com. Use coupon code Meanie and use coupon code MIND to save 10% on collarandelbowbrand.com. And support the Blue Meanie and support Mind of the Meanie while looking good. Speaking of looking good, now you can smell good with madcatbeardcare.com. If you're a bearded fellow like myself, go get the Blue Spruce beard oil and balm. Shout out to my boy Josh Thornton, who's doing an amazing job over there at madcatbeardcare.com. He rounds up the feral cats in his neighborhoods, takes them to the vet, gets them fixed up, and they live a happier and healthier life. All the funds from madcatbeardcare.com goes to taking care of the kitties. So go over there and pay him a visit. The Ultra Pro Wrestling video game coming to all major consoles in 2024. Ultra Pro Wrestling contains not only original characters created by the awesome Hal Haney, but many real-world wrestlers, including myself and others that I'm trying not to spoil. Go to ultraprowrestling.com or follow them on Twitter at UPW Video Game. That's ultraprowrestling.com or UPW Video Game. The Figure Collections Bone Crushing Wrestler Series 1 variants of the Blue Meanie are now available. All Series 1s can be ordered right now at shop.figurecollections.com. That's shop.figurecollections.com. Get an old school Blue Meanie or get a BWO Blue Meanie. Either way, you win with that choice. Shout out to Jim Nielsen over at glaciersofice.com. Jim made a 3 of 3 only handmade custom BWO Air Jordan 1 sneakers for Stevie, Nova, and myself. Each pair takes Jim about 50 hours per pair. If you want to see him make these beautiful shoes, sorry, that's the 420. Follow him on all social media at GOI Kicks. That's GOI Kicks. Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. I have one in the on waiting. I'm going to do right after I do this this wonderful show over at Cameo.com/Blue Meanie BWO for birthdays, holidays, and well wishes. Let's make somebody's day a little bit better, a video at a time. But most importantly, Ms. Barnard, where can we find you, sir?
Well, thank you, sir. I appreciate that. You can find me on Instagram, Twitter. I'm always calling it Twitter. I'm never calling it X. Please stop asking me to do that because I'm not changing it.
Always.
Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and Threads for right now, too, I think, till Twitter's finally dead. You can find me there at This Is Goober. Yes, it's my handle. No, I'm not changing it. It's a brand, pal. So you can find me there. Don't forget to listen to my second show, Foundation Radio, at foundationradio.net. Lots of good shows and things coming up. I'm also going to try something new with the show starting at the end of the month. I'm going to start live streaming episodes and talk about wrestling on YouTube. So go ahead and find youtube.com/Foundation Radio and subscribe there today. And you'll get to see me talking about wrestling pretty soon. So Brothers Gaddor. Go there now and pick up. We're coming up to the holiday season, Meanie, and pick up your very first licensed Adam Barnard Wrestle Buddy today. You can go to brothersgaddor.com. You can also get yourself a Blue Meanie Wrestle Buddy as well. And then if you'd like to, if you're feeling great, you can get a 2-pack. That's right, 2-pack, Meanie, of your favorite podcast host. The Mind of the Meanie 2-pack set is available right now at brothersgaddor.com. The Feinberg Method. Brad Feinberg is my trainer. He is fitness trainer extraordinaire to the stars. Also the trainer for the Imagine Dragons, Dan Reynolds, and Steve Aoki. So go and check him out at thefeinbergmethod.com. Use promo code Goober and save up to 20% off of your entire purchase. Not just physical wellness, but also mental wellness as well. So thefeinbergmethod.com. Shout out to the homies at the 10th Ward Barbershop in downtown Lawrenceville on the outskirts of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Go and get a haircut today by Kane or Jordan or the rest of the team by going to 10thwardbarbershop.com. ProWrestlingTees.com/Foundation Radio. ProWrestlingTees.com/Mind of the Meanie. Pick up a shirt and keep the lights on at Casa DeMeanie and the Barnard Home for Wayward and Troubled Youth. We want to thank our sponsors today at Manscaped and Green Road CBD.
Yeah.
Don't forget to sign up at patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Tier starting at just $10, and you get to see our lovely faces record every week to be here with you. So we want to thank you. We want to thank the Pod Squad for joining us every week and having a blast in the chat. Meanie, I want to thank you for your time as always. We appreciate you, sir. For the Blue Meanie, I am Adam Barnard. Join us again each and every week as we take a trip through the mind
Blue World Order.
of the Meanie. Peace.
This episode of Mind of the Meanie is hosted and executively produced by the Blue Meanie and Adam Barnard. It was mixed and engineered by Carl Pinnell. Additional narration is provided by the executive voice, Sam Krebs. Our intro music was performed by the Swamp Candles. Our outro music was performed by Chikara. Additional musical accompaniment is produced by Enrichment. Follow us on Instagram and Twitter at Mind of the Meanie and become our patron on Patreon by going to patreon.com/Mind of the Meanie. Find our entire show archive at mindofthemeanie.com. This has been a Butts Carlton media production. Butts Carlton, proprietor.
Blue World Order.
Dad, why is Blue Meanie's brain out?